Hello people, Awesome50 back with another short video. This is another very short video, and as I mentioned, I'm not sure which video I mentioned it in, but I mentioned it in a previous video that I was going to do a little cover of the game SOMA. S-O-M-A, SOMA. Yes, some people might have heard of it, some people very much might not have heard of it. Today's standards, this game is going to be, well, some people would say it's quite an old game, which I don't really class this as an old game. It was created in 2015, released in 2015, of course, and it is created by the same team that make the Amnesia series. Now, the Amnesia series is reasonably good. They released Amnesia Dark Descent, I think, in 2010 with the DLC. Well, it went to DLC. It turned out to be a standalone game, I believe. I'm not too sure, which was Pig Machine. And then we have Amnesia Rebirth, which I think is 2020. To which we have the newest one, Amnesia Bunker, which is 2023, I think, this year. But I could be wrong. So anyway, today I'm going to talk about the game SOMA 2015. Now, this game, it probably could pass as an Amnesia game. I don't actually know why it's not called Amnesia. I actually don't know why they've called it SOMA. If anyone could drop in the comments why it's called SOMA, is it like an abbreviation to something or anything? I don't know. I can't find anything. So that would have been helpful for my own knowledge, as a matter of fact. But this game is really good. So basically, your character, okay, he's been in a car crash. And he's got an injury to his brain where he's bleeding from his brain, okay? So, instead of doing, like, a brain op or something like that on him, they decided to test this new technology where they are going to stimulate his brain via a machine, I believe. And so, he goes to his doctor's appointment and he's told to drink this tracer fluid, okay? So, your character drinks this tracer fluid. Excuse me. He drinks this tracer fluid and then he goes to this seedy apartment where there's a reception desk and it's like a dilapidated building that's still being built. And then he goes into this room after he has to figure out his own password, how to get into the room. And then he finds some dodgy doctor, which isn't really a doctor. He's working on his PhD, so he's not technically a doctor, even though I do have respect for people which are masters in their profession. Anyway, so he goes, "Did you drink the tracer fluid?" And you're like, yeah. Oh, and by the way, this guy, it's like a Matrix kind of chair where you sit in, and it's in like a fucking server room. And he says, take a seat. We're just gonna take like a photograph of your brain. Nothing to worry about. It's nothing to worry about, sir. Just take a seat in the chair. And then he sits in this chair. It's like, oh, doctor, whoa, what's going on? And then all of a sudden the virus comes down, and then all of a sudden it takes a photograph of your brain, and then all of a sudden you wake up and you're like, what the, whoa, you take the thing off, the visor off, and you're like, where am I? And then your character is like, you realize I'm in this place. You wake up in like a nightmarish looking place, and it turns out you're underwater in like some kind of secret laboratory like facility which nobody knows about. So yeah, so you walk around and your character's like, where am I? So yeah, and then there's like horrible like machine creatures roaming around which will try to kill you, and other kind of monsters. And you walk around, you find this like Omni tool, it's called an Omni tool, which kind of unlocks every single door. And you have this AI on called Catherine. I think she's called Catherine, could be wrong. And she like talks to you throughout the whole thing. And then you're walking around and you're like, what the hell is going on? What is going on? And then you get to a point where you're talking to machines, like robots, and these robots believe they're humans, okay? They actually think they're humans. And then you try to convince these robots, you're like, yeah, but you're not human, you're a machine. Look at yourself, okay? And they're like, no, man, what the hell's wrong with you? And you're like, ugh, okay, screw this. So you walk around and then you find out later on that you're a robot. Yeah. But these robots are programmed to not know they're robots. So then your character realizes, and it's like, oh my god, what the hell? Oh, and then all of a sudden, the plot elaborates that much that the whole point of this, where they copied humans' brains to put onto machines to send them onto the moon so they can recolonize Earth. Well, not recolonize Earth, so they can continue humanity from Earth on the moon, but as robots with human consciences. Now, how messed up is that as a plotline? That is severely messed up, okay? And then you're like, well, I might as well just like carry on this now. We need to save humanity. Way. So you go along with it. You have to find this thing called the Ark. Yes, it's like a play on word, probably from Noah's Ark, I believe, and which has nearly it's got like its own world simulated into that. And basically, what the Ark does is it's like a probe. I believe they send to the moon, and they send the robots there through their consciences onto other AIs. I believe, I could be a tiny bit wrong, but I believe that is it from my understanding. So they believe that when you get there and you're a robot thinking you're a human, but when you get there with the Ark's programming, you are walking around as if you are a human in like a lovely countryside, valley, area, mountain area thing. You know, something with lovely scenarios, lovely sceneries. You like walking around and you're like, okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And you think you're a human. So I believe that's what they wanted to do by, you know, continuing humanity. It kind of ties in with like a simulated reality kind of setting, which is pretty awesome. I kind of follow that stuff. But what I'm just told you then is the end of the game. You don't actually realize this till the end of the game. But until you get to that point, you are walking around, you are trying to get from site to site of this like underground water laboratory kind of thing. To be fair, walking around in the sea seems pretty boring and linear. It's kind of annoying. But in the game, they've got some fantastic puzzles. And they've got some really, really scary monsters at some point. Like, there's one point where you have this scuba diver. This messed up scuba diver. That's like a zombie scuba diver thing. And he just follows you around. And if he touches you, you're dead. One hit, dead. And if you look at him, your sanity kind of lowers. So you can kind of die as well. And another thing, there's like other monsters as well that kind of follow you around. In the game, there is a mode called safe mode. So if you want to just explore, have some fun, and not have any of the monsters kind of worry you, so you can click safe mode and just kind of explore the game and actually have fun doing that. Or you can go onto the normal mode and play it how the game was allegedly meant to be played. Okay, so the game is very good, and what you people will notice as soon as you start playing this game, you'll get like an old school Bioshock feel for the game. I can guarantee that. I don't know how the game does it. I think any underwater game, which is like city underwater, whatever, it always gives you that Bioshock feel. But with the noises the game makes and the noises like the machines make and stuff like that, and the monsters, you really do get that messed up Bioshock feel, which in my opinion is absolutely fantastic. I do want to do a review on Bioshock, as a matter of fact, but I feel as though I've got to script it because it's one of my most favourite game series I've ever played. And it was one game of the year back in its time, but this is a video for another day. Like I said, I feel so I need to script a talk about that game because of how amazing it is to me. And yeah, this game's absolutely brilliant. You should all give it a try. Don't know why it's called SOMA. It probably should just be called Amnesia. I don't know. Amnesia Ark would have made more sense than SOMA. But again, maybe it was romanized or something like that. Maybe it's meant to mean something. I have no idea. But if you play the game, you will definitely not be disappointed. Bear in mind, it is a 2015 game. It still does play really well on your PlayStation 5 or on your Xbox Series X or if you're rich, on your gaming PCs. But it plays well, but the graphics kind of don't interface over the same. So you do get kind of rustic edges. You just do. I mean, it is technically, if it's 2015, it should have been like a PS4, Xbox One game. So to be fair, the graphics shouldn't really be that bad, but they're not bad. They're not bad. You should just give the game a play. I believe you'll really enjoy it. Like I said, it doesn't. I'll be honest, it doesn't scare you as much as Amnesia Dark Descent or anything like that. It really doesn't. But there's so much lore to go and explore, and there's lots of different messed up things. And yeah, it's like there's one point where you're walking underwater to get to like one of your final sites, and the fish have mutated. and they're even like trying to attack you. So also as well in the plot, the game is your guy realizes it's a machine, okay, and then it basically what's happened is the game is actually set. I think it's about 100 years into the future because they copied your character's brain that time. So they took his conscience in the machine and they've used his conscience from then for that brain scan to put into the machine he's in now. And you get to a point later on where you need to put on an underwater suit, okay, a pressure suit, because you wouldn't survive under the water pressure. So what happens is you actually copy your brain again onto another robot. So then there's two yous, and you get the choice to kill the old you, so the old you isn't left by himself. But get this. Now, this is a spoiler. Spoiler alert. If you want to play the game and you don't want to hear this, stop the video now. Okay, and now I will continue. So, right at the end of the game, okay, you're about to put the arc in the moon. You're going to shoot it off into the moon, well, close to the moon. And your character, and Catherine, on the Omni tool, thinks they're going to go to the arc as well. They're prepped up. They're ready for it. They believe they're going to go to the arc. They're like, yes, we're going to go to the arc. Yes, we've finally done it. We're going to save humanity. Woo! So then they send it to the arc, and your character's in the chair. He's like that. Catherine, no, you promised. Why has this happened? And then she's like, calm down, all that bullshit. And then it turns out your guy copied his brain again onto another AI, and Catherine, her AI, went on into the arc. So your character is living a fantastic life now in the arc, but it turns out you're left behind, and the game kind of ends where you guys sat in the chair, and Catherine kind of breaks down like some kind of like power cut, and you guys like, no, please don't leave me alone, please don't leave me alone. And I'm sat there like, oh no way, what the hell? And then so it turns out right after the credits, you have to watch the credits. This is when I said at the beginning of the video what the arc really is. It's like a simulated reality, and your guy thinks it's a human being, but it's probably really an AI. That's the copied consciousness from the guy you just moved back into him. So he is actually living the good life. He won't know any difference. Same from the human you to the three different machine yous. Yes, this video is not scripted, and it sounds like I'm talking a lot of mumbo jumbo, but the video's only going to be probably under 15 minutes. So you could either watch a real video and see what the game's all about, or you could just re-listen to what I'm saying, which will help me for the views. But yeah, I heavily recommend the game SOMA. It's still on the Game Pass, and it's made by the Amnesia company, so you're guaranteed to at least get some kind of a scare, okay? I've finished talking about this game now. Awesome 50 out. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye. Until next time.